shea butter in the house. That's all I know.
Shea butter is good for your skin. I use it. No stretch marks. For what I'm saying.
Well, I can't say that.
But started off wrong.
Okay, so listen.
Wait.
Hold on. We got to do our part.
So my bad.
That's Mike.
That's Toya.
And this is Tech Beats and Bytes.
Y'all may have heard the voice. Y'all may know the name. But if you don't know the name, you definitely know the voice. They call it Hot Talk.
Oh.
Hot
Late
Talk.
night, too. What y'all know about that?
She be killing it for 2 hours. 2 hours of sensual and overwhelming conversations on Hot 105.
Good dialogue.
She's our friend. She's a superhero in the community. And we know her as Jill Tracey. Let's give Jill Tracey a round of applause.
A staple in the radio
Y'all can
community
do
in
better than
Miami.
that. Give it up! Sexual chocolate. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to tell y'all right now, we have absolutely no notes for this conversation because it's Jill Tracey.
But we never do.
Just because y'all see us up here with iPads, I'll be checking emails and
notebooks
working.
and things. We take notes as we go.
Wait, that's what Teach told me. Teach was like, oh, no, he has his
Talk
iPad.
to the mic. You know the rules.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you know.
That's what Teach told me. He was like, no, he's got his iPad up there. He's like doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, because if we sing, you can't send questions in advance because.
Well, we don't want to. People do. But
Yeah.
People always want you. I'm about to take this off of here.
Take it off.
Okay, do what you got.
Okay, so people always want you to send questions in advance, but there's none of that.
No.
None.
No, because everything can change like 30 seconds before you get on the show.
And that's not fun.
Exactly.
And everything I sent you, I don't want to talk about it no more.
Exactly.
So, Jill, Hot Talk with Jill Tracey. Won't you tell us a little bit about the show and briefly, how'd you even get into the whole radio industry? And then we'll start talking about gossip and other controversy.
So what had happened was,
Yep. How the story happened.
Take us
I was a writer. I started as a writer,
Okay.
and I wrote for a lot of little tchotchke newspapers on South Beach, and one of them,
Did she say Chosky?
tchotchke,
Yeah. That's like the little like
like
right.
like
little
little
tchotchkes are like little like trinkets.
right, and if you put a whole lot of little tchotchkes together, then
Yeah.
you have like a
It's a
cabinet
Yiddish
full of
word.
tchotchkes.
It's Yiddish.
You know,
So shady.
I think.
people come and look at it and go, "Oh, nice tchotchkes," you know,
Right.
But they have no value other than that. So.
Right. They go in curio cabinets.
Okay.
Exactly. See, we're together. So, a lot of those, and a program director that was about to flip WMBM from gospel to talk used to read one of my tchotchkes and asked me had I ever done radio, and I was like, no, but how much you paying?
That's what matters.
Literally, that was my only concern at that time.
Right. Value.
And it was more than I was making as a writer. And so I said, okay, cool. So I went, and I went on the air when they switched WMBM from gospel to talk, and I came on the air with PE, It Takes a Nation. So there you go.
So you
So
went
that kind of, I started.
Yeah. And WMBM is AM, right?
Yeah.
So you went
and
from
it was on
AM
Miami
to
Beach.
FM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went from, started from the bottom. Now I'm here because Hot 105 is the #1 station in South Florida, and we are the #1 urban in the United States of America.
All
we just
right.
won the
Say
Marconi
word.
Award.
Hold up, I don't think y'all heard that.
Repeat it.
Repeat that
Yes,
real quick. Say that again.
So we just won the Marconi Award, which is like the Grammy of radio at the National Association of Broadcasters for the urban radio station of the year for the entire United States of America.
Let's give a round of applause to
Yeah.
Hot 105. That's dope.
You know, and that's,
105,
and
Quiet
honestly,
Storm.
it's really no small feat because
No, that's big.
Like, how much sense does that make in a market that's over 50% Hispanic? Like, are they like everybody's listening to old school R&B? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
You know what? Now that's a fun
Yes.
fact. That's actually how we formulate the names of our beer and the flavors of our beer and the music we play. That's why
Tell 'em.
Self-Born came on.
Tell 'em.
So we tried to explain to people, first of all, as you know, music is the one thing that enters your soul whether you want it to or not.
Amen.
And me and Self-Born, when we was having a conversation, we had bought Dante in and we was talking about how we was going to name the beer for Timeline. We was like, it has to be based off of old school R&B and hip-hop because it's not just the quality of music then, it's the samples used in that music.
Yeah, nostalgia.
So even if people don't know the lyrics to a rap song or R&B song, they know that sample. Exactly. So they always relate to that music. So just so you know, scientifically, that's why most breweries play old school R&B and hip hop because it relates across all cultures.
Not even breweries though, restaurants.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised the restaurants you go in and you like, is that Al
Car
Green?
companies.
Right.
I'm starting to get in elevators now in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not the jazz version, like the real hip hop
Yeah,
version.
you're like, oh, is that Sam Cooke?
Because even if they don't hear the words,
Exactly.
they know that sample from somewhere,
Exactly.
so they can relate to it at some point of life.
And it's one of the only forms of music that across the board that we can listen to and reminisce and have fond memories.
Yeah.
Very true. Life was a
Nostalgia's
little bit
key.
better back then.
Yeah.
Life was a little bit better.
You got the reminisce face.
Hey man, I was just with my grandma in Alabama. You
It was
know,
all so simple then.
it was
Whole
man.
different story. So Jill,
Sausage,
going
eggs,
from
and
AM
grits.
FM to one of
Yeah,
the largest, most awarded radio shows ever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, from so AM to hot to EDR
Right,
and back
99
to
Jams,
hot.
yeah.
And back to hot and this is my show is number 1 in this time slot. Hello somebody.
right.
That's right.
Look, I'm not playing with you. I'm up against all music formats.
And you're all talk.
And I'm all talk. And that's really one, a lot of people are like, well, don't you want to be on an afternoon drive? But a lot of people forget that I started in radio on AM drive. I mean, my first gig was in the morning show, and that's what everybody, your whole career is about, to get to the morning show.
But
So
really, in the
that's why I started.
afternoon, don't nobody really want to hear a lot of people talking. You just left work, so I really don't want to focus on talking.
Afternoon drive.
Yeah, the afternoon drive. I want to hear music. So
Exactly.
I
Well,
think
see,
your time
right.
slot is right on time.
Well, no, see, I am. My show, Hot Talk, is at 11 o'clock at night.
On a Sunday.
On Sunday.
John
Yeah.
Oliver time slot. I think
Thank
your
you.
time
That's
slot
what
is
I'm
perfect.
saying.
Yeah.
That's why everything at night.
It's the end
all
of the week.
eve-
It's like the weekly recap.
Right.
Exactly.
Get you ready for Monday. You got some stuff to go to work on Monday and talk about at the water
Get
cooler.
some stuff out. Yeah.
And
She
and
provided
quite
the conversation
honestly,
for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
This, what I talk about on Hot Talk at 11 o'clock at night on Sunday, I couldn't talk about at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what I always wanted, to be able to talk freely in that space to the audience, not on AM, not have to, because I can't drag all those number 1 people to AM. They won't,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But
They're
so-
listening to Hot, thank you.
Right.
They're listening to, 99 Jams or whatever. So you need to be in that top 10 in
To
order
make it
for people
happen.
to, yeah.
Exactly. Now with Hot Talk, you weren't always the host.
No,
There was a
Chief
host
Jimmy
before you.
Brown
Exactly.
held it down for the first 25 years.
So
And
how
the
was that transition for you?
was very interesting. Hot Talk was created out of the McDuffie riots because 99 Jams was over there talking about burn this motherfucker down.
Oh.
And Hot 105 was like, yeah, so, it's a podcast, right?
No, you can do that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you can.
Which is
I mean-
That's why I love doing podcasts.
I
'cause
mean,
a
we are
bitch can
funded
say
by the Knight
anything. I
Foundation,
love
but
it.
we are funded by the Knight Foundation, but we told them we keep it
Oh.
real. It's okay.
What's up, Chris?
Hey,
Peace.
Chris
And
Kane.
look at Bullard, another one of your guests. We got Dwight Bullard.
Yeah.
He's
Okay,
a
Okay, in the
fan
house,
fave.
Florida majority, holding it
That's
down.
right.
We do our thing.
And Dwight is a member of my barbershop on Hot
Yeah,
Talk.
he's always on your show.
Yes, I just offered Dwight a drink, and he was like, I don't drink. I was like,
No,
no
you
wonder
didn't
you
know that?
remember every damn thing.
Yeah, girl.
That's right. You don't drink, do you?
Exactly.
Bullard
He
be like,
is
I
a
will fool
walking.
you with my cranberry
Yeah, he
and
be
maybe
dr-
some pineapple.
Okay.
So, Jill, one of the things that I noticed about your show has been the progression and development of it. I think one of the things that caught me off guard, and I was like, damn, I'm proud of her. You was talking about Bitcoins last week.
That's right.
And I was like, you know what? She's making sure because I don't know if that's your comfort zone, so I would be wrong to say you stepped outside of your comfort zone.
No, right. It was outside of it because I had no clue of what it was, but I've been cognizant of it for a while.
Right.
And then John Sanders, who was on, told me about a company. And, 2 drinks ago, I could remember the name of the company, but
Well, I need you to remember
Now I
that.
couldn't
It ain't
tell
that
you.
big.
It's okay.
but this
We're tech people. We
company-
understand.
We'll get back to it.
This company in 2010, right? If you had bought a Bitcoin from them, was now worth $75 million. Can't remember what the name of the company was. I saw the story first in Fast Company.
Okay.
And so I called him about it. I was like,
I'm
is
trying to
this
go through
real?
my Rolodex and I can't. But I
And
know we got a
so
Bitcoin.
I was just
investor out
amazed
there.
so we had this long conversation about what it means.
Yeah, because
And-
Bitcoin's about 12 to 14 years ago, they were about 50 cents to the dollar.
Right.
Even just a couple of years ago, it was like a couple hundred bucks.
Yeah, now they're
Now
worth.
it's like
I
7,000
think
a
today.
coin.
No, actually today
It's
it
up.
reached
I haven't looked
8,000.
recently. Okay, it's
It's
8,000.
like $8,025 per Bitcoin.
Right, last week it was like 7,000 something.
It's rising really fast.
Yeah, look,
It's
get them now.
amazing.
Get them now. Coinbase, you can go ahead and get you a piece
ICOs.
of-
Just say that's our bit of technology that we gonna do for today. We about to it's up there. It's serious.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they were supposed to do a fork recently, but I don't think they did it.
They're not gonna split them because more
Right.
people are making new Bitcoins, ICOs. So
And that's initial coin offerings, like an IPO.
right.
But
For those
everybody
who may
be
not know the
ready.
acronym.
Study the market. Be ready.
Very fast.
It's not a if it goes up and down. It's a when it goes up and down. Period.
And the thing with Bitcoin, not to go off track, but the thing with Bitcoin is that because a lot of emerging countries are looking to Bitcoin to be their currency because their currency doesn't necessarily have the same value. So Bitcoin allows them to be on an equal playing field. So while it doesn't make sense for us as a first world country, it does for people like
And
in
it removes
Nigeria
the government
and
out of the way.
South America. So there's a whole thing why Bitcoin is rising, even though the U.S. is trying to like poo-poo on it.
So that's our tech
and
for
I
today.
think that from that conversation
Yes.
on the show, what I gathered was the reason why they're trying to poo-poo on it is because it is another way of leveling the playing field.
They can't control it.
Right.
Exactly.
It's just
It removes the good old boy network. It's
Right.
not coming
And
in.
they hating on
Yeah,
that.
And
it's
that's
not
what
coming
I
into
like
the
about
treasury and printing out more
Right.
stuff from the mint.
or
It's
beholden to a bank.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
guys, I just realized something real quick.
Yes.
Somebody explain Bitcoin real fast for people who don't,
Oh.
because we actually talk about it a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
and a lot of people don't understand. They don't
So
know.
who knows
You
what a
gonna take it?
Bitcoin is?
In the crowd, who knows what a Bitcoin is?
Oh, I know we got some.
Okay, so basically, Bitcoins for the people watching, you should know it's a digital currency,
Cryptocurrency.
cryptocurrencies, and it's based off of a value. So that's why right now blockchains are becoming popular because the way that these cryptocurrency moves will be tracked in blockchains, and blockchains are pretty much like double secured. And basically, I haven't seen anybody in cybersecurity that's been able to hack into them. But it creates a ledger so you know exactly where that cryptocurrency has traveled to
Right.
from each individual down to their IP address.
And it's
So it makes
across
it a lot
shared
more-
computers, which
Yes.
is what makes it kind of unhackable because
Yeah.
it's not based in one centralized location.
And I was watching television. I watch CNN now, like I live in the airport. It's
Look,
sad.
I watch 3 channels: CNN, TB. I watch TNT so I can watch Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Yeah.
Criminal intent in the building.
It's so addictive. And other than that, I'm pretty much watching the HBO or Showtime. So,
Okay,
yeah.
exactly. Netflix.
Okay. so-
Okay, right. So, I could get rid of everything else.
3
And I
channels.
notice now that blockchain
Mm-hmm.
verbiage is in a lot of spots. Like there was a bank. It's TD Jake's Bank. I have another shot.
For
Blame it on alcohol.
TD Bank.
TD Bank.
TD Jakes got
It
into the
was,
banking
they were
industry.
saying it's on a blockchain platform, so you can be secure.
Right.
And I thought if you, it's like a dog whistle. If you
Exactly.
don't know
If you
that,
don't
you
know
have it just goes
Right
right
over
over
your
your
head.
Exactly.
head.
Exactly.
They put the bugs. So let's
So
get
real
into
quick,
some-
are you an investor
Oh,
now
yes.
in Bitcoin?
I'll have
After-
Well, the
for
way
it.
my bank account is set
I was
up,
about to say
I'm working on that.
that mortgage removed me out of the industry.
Yeah. Get you a piece of one.
But that's-
it's okay.
yeah.
it's
I heard
gonna
about
rise
that,
too.
yeah.
Coinbase.
Yeah.
You could buy pieces of it.
But I think that I am like a lot of people now who are just like, okay, wait, I think I need to be paying more attention to
There it is.
to every little,
Absolutely.
because you ever, something hit my account, right? And it was, I don't know, something like $8.99, some subscription or something. And it knocked a few things, out of whack because it's like a puzzle up in there. So I said, well, wait a minute. I had to go on, I went, and I pulled out all the ledgers for like a couple of months. And I realized how much, I found like $275
Yeah.
that was going out of my account just automatically,
It
or
was
stuff
auto.
some I don't even use anymore, stuff, and I was like, wow, we just are really not paying attention the way that we need to be moving ourselves forward.
But
Right.
we'll
In
make sure we
terms of-
only tip somebody 10% when we go out to eat.
Thank you
but
very much.
We won't pay attention to our
Right.
account.
Right,
Yeah.
and make sure everybody at the table put in their piece.
Right, you got gym accounts that's
Right.
still pulling money and you
Right.
ain't going.
Yeah.
And you,
Lord.
so yeah. I mean, I think that
Paying
I mean,
for
that
a
made me-
magazine that's going to your old house.
Thank you.
I ain't never seen this Sports Illustrated. What is
Right.
this?
Architecture
Why
Weekly.
am I paying
What?
$46 for Vogue?
I thought it was $1.99 for the yearly subscription.
Look,
Come on, go ahead.
So I moderated the panel at the Black Professional Summit.
Okay.
And this
BPM.
white woman came up to me after. She was like, "Oh my God, I love it. I want to be in the show. Oh my God, it was fabulous." Okay, she gave me her
She said it just like that, too.
just like that. And she gave me her card, and I was like, "Oh, white and woke." Okay. Hashtag white
Hashtag.
and woke.
She was serious.
Damn.
I was like, what do I even do with that? What does that mean?
For the
Right.
sake of sponsorship and future advertisement opportunities, I'm not going to comment on that statement.
Right. But please tell us what happened.
But no, I was just, I booked her for January.
Oh, okay.
So you haven't had a conversation yet.
Got
Okay.
that.
Right? Because I'm like, I want to know what white
Right.
and woke is. What does that mean to you?
Yeah.
Because, as far as we were concerned, you've been woke. We're trying to get our whole people woke
Right.
up. So,
Right.
So, yeah, I'm interested to
That'd
see
be
what you...
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
look, when
but-
is that? That may need to be our day, so we could just be
Yeah,
there
it's the
like,
third
Wait,
January.
maybe we should-
Third Sunday in January.
Maybe
so.
we should just come through on that day.
Right.
Maybe that's
Listen, okay, so we got to...
We're going to do that at the end. We'll do it at the end. We'll do that. Because I know we're going to get... Okay,
Shouts out to Black Loves Rules. Where is she? That's my Insta sister.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know
Michelle.
you have people on Instagram that, like, they post stuff and you're like, oh, my God, I would have posted that. Repost.
That's Michelle
That's
all
her.
day.
That is Michelle. That is me and Michelle.
Every once in a while, I'll be reading Michelle's stuff, and I'll be like, damn, whoever posting this is genius. I'm like, oh,
Thank
shit, that's
you.
Michelle.
Exactly.
But she
Always.
be going in, like, 30 posts a day.
Okay.
Look, Black Love Rules. If y'all need
right.
follow
Follow her on
Instagram, follow
Instagram.
Michelle
Let me
be on
see.
it.
Black Love Rules.
That's my
That's
homegirl.
right.
So, Jill, what's next for you, though? I mean, I think we were talking about entrepreneurship, but you've always had a focus. You've always been community focused.
Yeah.
But it seems lately to me, and I may be wrong, but I'm just saying lately to me, it seems your show has become very educative and very informative to the point that it seems like you're even pushing yourself to learn more.
Definitely.
What brought that about? I guess in the last, because I've noticed it maybe over the last 16 months.
Yeah.
What was sparked in you where you were like, I need to push my own show to the next level?
Experience. Who was it that said experience is a good teacher? Mm-hmm. It is. It just
is.
yeah. And I started teaching
Okay.
for Jesus.
That's
No more of those.
I was just
Urgent Inc.
Urgent.
Urgent
Okay.
Inc. summer program. I
Okay.
lie. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I started teaching high school kids journalism and radio.
Okay.
And so there was just something so joyous about seeing one of them discover when they get it,
Yeah.
that they can do it,
When it
That
clicks.
joy, yeah.
and that they said or they wrote something that resonated with other people,
Yeah.
and it just like
The
you
click
know, they
and
just
it changes.
that did it. I was
Yeah.
like, that's what it's about because
That's beautiful.
I've got several different roads to go in this. But that, I've had that first grade high, and the one
The element of new learning, yeah.
yeah, and I think the one thing that I would offer is that all the shit that you think matters doesn't. It just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
That money, that Prada, none of that keeps you sane and happy when you are in Barbados and you walk out on your balcony and you sit down with your bottle of Douce and look at that empty chair.
Experiences over things.
Right.
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 Do you know what I'm saying? Because, as the more you move up in this business, the more perks they throw at you. Do you know what I'm saying? And because in the last, decade, it hasn't been money. Right before us, it was money. But that's when you had a lot of black people in record companies. You had black people moving it. So when
right.
when the VP of Urban at, Motown came to town, You know, he was going to take you out, take care of you, take care of your people, just everybody. You know, but then
Things have changed.
the big picture, exactly. And it's like, and I've seen it happen everywhere.
Right.
That they trot us out to farm the land,
Speak on it.
find all of the talent.
Yeah.
Speak.
Then they send the young prodigy, somebody's son or nephew, out with you
Right.
to learn the
Learn it.
business.
Right. Then
And
next thing you know, they
then-
done took everything from up under you.
And
Yep.
then
Bait
come
and
Christmas, you get the pink slip. You and 20 of your boys at every other label. And this 21-year-old
Wow.
nephew
Replace.
is running the now now it's not black, it's multicultural.
Yeah.
So
And they fused them all together. And I watched that, just hundreds and hundreds of us leave the business.
So speaking on the music industry, a fun fact: we had a product called the Ear Card, Entertainment Artists and Rewards, and it was where artists would have an individual card, it's like a credit card, and you would download into their own private microsite to download their music. So basically, each artist had their own iTunes. And then you were able to track your fans and sell your own tickets. They would come to the show, scan their card, that was their ticket and everything else.
Nice.
Now, 10 years later, Steve Stout is doing a company similar to that. So Steve Stout is pretty much coming up with a business, and Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, has invested, a couple other companies, about $60 million into it. So with the changes of the music industry, a lot of people tend to forget, and Papa Keith taught me this after having some meetings with him. You don't realize how powerful radio still is these days. Radio is a lot more powerful than people think. So with the changes of the industry, but still the power of radio, what do you see as your like projected future, or what's going to happen, or what should we be aware of for the next 5 to I would say 10, but in this industry, 10 is
'cause
too long.
it's too long.
So
yeah. It's
what
moving
should
too
we
fast
expect
now.
in the next 2 to 5 years?
Right. I was gonna say.
That, you know, immersion, I think, is the
Okay.
word.
That's a good word.
Right. Whatever you're doing on any of these platforms, you have to have complete immersion in the market that you're going to. Because niches are important. You can be a millionaire in your niche.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
You know, but you have got to be, it's like, you got to be like a fungus. You know, so you
Spread
come
rapidly.
up. And because, and like for me, I mean, quite
Be a
honestly,
fungus.
right
I'm
now,
writing that down.
like I'm number one in my time slot. I'm at the top of the food chain. Okay, so I can't go any higher. So I have to go wider.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what it is. It's finding all of those ways where you can take that same content that you deliver, you know, and flip it 4 to the 8, 8 to the 20.
Right, because now you're
It's
in the
the same.
Facebook, you're
Yeah.
in the Facebook Live, Instagram Live. You started to spread your wings, but the format works. But now you just got to get on
And
another
you
platform.
have to know which ones work for you.
Yeah.
true.
Because every
Do you know-
platform doesn't work
Exactly.
for everybody.
I still don't like Twitter to this day.
Yeah, I don't particularly. It's like Facebook to me is
Yeah,
like you know that bar where you know everybody. It's like when you go home and you go to the club and you see everybody and in the same spot they were the last time you saw them saying the
That's all
same
I'm saying
shit.
about Facebook.
It's like
I don't
peace, love you.
All right.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Twitter is like, bitch, did you hit it?
Yeah,
you
you
really
gotta
want
be
to start
informed.
some shit? You
Right.
go on Twitter.
Right. Right.
Instagram is like, oh, what did I miss? You know,
Yeah.
you
That's a
like,
good
I'm much more of
breakdown.
an Instagram fan.
You can
Yeah,
sit at home in the
right
bed
there
and
with
just
you.
like, oh.
I'm right there
Yeah,
with
you can. Instagram would be like, I'm just gonna scroll for a little bit. Two
Thank
and a
you.
half hours
Hours
later,
later.
Exactly.
like, let me put down this phone.
Right.
And
Right.
that it's the
Eyes
fastest growing
red.
platform now. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. On a similar vein, what's missing for you in radio?
There it go.
Well, you know what? I think we had a meeting not long ago where the president of Cox Enterprises came in and
Okay.
talked to us about how they had been going to blogger conferences
Uh-huh.
because they just couldn't understand how these young people were coming up with these 2 and 3 million followers. And, you know, and they laid out the whole thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, we've been doing this forever. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Industries
so-
are always about 5 to 6 years behind everything.
Exactly.
Well, industry leaders. should I
Leaders
say.
are always
Because they
it's
get too
like,
big
I'm
and they
sorry,
stay in
it's
their
right here in this
cubicles.
building.
And they-
So several of us had even pitched because you know there are 4 stations in our building. So there's Hot, EDR, Hits 97.3, and easy 93.1.
Okay. Right.
And so we all catered to different demos. And so one of the other girls at Hits and I had the conversation, and I had been pitching them for a long time that, you know, the top 4 things that people go to our websites for have nothing to do with talent. So it's like streaming, contest. I think weather is one of the top things people go to our website for, and last song played. So
Yeah.
that
makes sense.
definitely you have personalities though that people want to listen to, or we wouldn't be number 1. So I'm sure that most people would, want to watch 3 minutes of content of, what I'm doing, Rodney Baltimore, Tracey Chloe. Our lives are so different.
Yeah.
So, why don't we go
Serve
there?
up some content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think it just took them a long time because that's what bloggers do. And even as a personality on the radio, companies will reach out to you. But for us, it's really just like for you guys, Ford can reach out to you. And for the most part, you can do whatever they want you to do. Now, if you're an influencer, do you all influence any brands?
No, besides our own.
Right.
Okay, so I've done a few. I won't mention all the names, but I've done a few. And basically, influencer, they want you to say, hey, we're in town. We've got this new, Ford Escort.
Right.
And we want you to drive it around and go to some really hip places like Tech, Bytes, and Beats and park outside and the whole thing. Then, hey, that's working really well. Your numbers are coming up. So we want you to be an ambassador. So we're going to pay you to go around the country. We're going to tell you to go to Soul Train Awards. We're going to pay you to go to all of these and, go to all the parties and drive that Ford around wherever you go, right? So you don't really make money, but you get Instagram photos that make it look like you are balling,
Making money,
right?
yeah.
So
That social cash.
Perception.
so
of a-
exactly. So there's a good transfer there. But with like us, and what has started to happen is like, for us, it kind of falls into payola plugola.
Oh.
Because they are
Right.
giving you services so that you will talk about their
them.
product.
Yeah.
So they shut it down if the stations can't make money from what you're, doing. Because that happened with me with Ford. And because Ford reached out to me from
So
JoeTracy.com.
Individual. Right. You as a
Basically, the
personality.
people you can't make money with, you need to send them to us so
Hello.
we can take that on.
Thank you.
We got that
If
free.
we're right, if we can't make no money with them, then either can you, baby. So,
That's
Wow. Wow.
but I mean, so that is one of the. But my mother always called them the gold corporation, working in corporate, the golden handcuffs.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
you decide which,
Which
Yeah.
pick your
yeah.
evil.
And
Exactly.
just from an industry perspective, because you have Sirius XM, you have Spotify, Pandora, what is radio doing to sort of stay ahead and compete in the landscape?
Showing up to work, because I mean, honestly, you're right. Because radio, I mean, no one will ever call their mama and say, "Oh, mama, turn on the internet. I'm on the internet. My song is playing on the internet." It'll never happen. I mean, you will always, any artist out here knows, if you're,
Perspective, that makes
or
sense.
even if you're on the radio, you gonna call everybody,
Credibility.
"Mama, I'm on the radio," because it's
different because
free.
everybody can get on the internet,
Thank you.
but the
It's
radio is a
accessible
whole
for
different
everybody.
There's a gatekeeper
Yeah.
at radio.
It comes with a little bit more integrity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Jill,
yeah.
we said this in February. We had this question, so I'm going to ask this question to you. Why in the hell do we not have a Breakfast Club of the South? Why do we not have that voice, that recording? Why do we not have a voice to represent the Southeast region? Because Atlanta could do it, but Atlanta doesn't have enough. And then there's not enough diversity.
420 in the building.
Yeah. That's one of Self friends. They come by and thank him.
Shut it up.
So why
How
don't
you
you
doing?
why don't we have the Breakfast Club of the South? What's missing? I mean, right now in the music industry, I do. I really want to know. Why don't we have a Breakfast Club
Give it
of the
to
South?
us.
Again, wisdom from my mama, because who claims that the civil rights movement
Missed the
stopped
sig-
at Georgia, and it missed us all together.
You know what? My mentor and fraternity brother, Dean Preston Jones, his most famous thing to me, because at one point I was ready to pack up, leave South Florida, and I was like, everything I want to make happen, I can make happen in Atlanta, and I can travel more, and I can get my house at least $100,000 cheaper. So I was about to be out. But he said to me, He said, Michael, the 60s missed South Florida. We need young men like you to stay to help with the revolution that never happened. Some people may not get that. Can you explain to why people look that, like you said, civil rights didn't make it past Macon or Atlanta, Georgia? Can you explain that to people?
The civil rights movement just was never, and actually Dwight Bullitt over there, I may have to throw a microphone over to him because when it comes to the history of South Florida, but in terms of, no, it is true. You feel free to mosey on up here, Dwight.
You can come up if you need to drop this part, Dwight, if she can't get it. I mean, it's our show. I mean, people listen.
Thank you, Boo Boo. Just in terms of,
especially from a political standpoint.
Because he can tell you the historical reason why. But in terms of folklore,
right? Go ahead.
Those of the people that came from the South. My family was from Aberdeen, Mississippi, and went up north. Once they went up there, they were like, "Oh, that's some bullshit down there, and we are not going back through that foolishness." Yeah. And those of you who stay down there, you deserve what you get. We're not coming back down there for that.
Wow. So
and
Dwight,
that,
can you unpack
those
this?
families that were progressive went up north, and everybody else was like, "That's okay. I'm good. I'm good right here." They stayed here. That's the folklore. What's the truth, Dwight?
Yes, Dwight.
Real simple. Florida was too deep south to be impacted by a lot of the civil rights movement, just geographically, right?
Right.
So especially,
it's 8 hours.
Yeah, and so especially when you get into South Florida, it was kind of untouched by a lot of the major movements in Atlanta and places like Georgia, Mississippi,
Birmingham,
Alabama. Not to mention Florida was considered a progressive, conservative Jim Crow state, if that makes any sense in the world. I just want to let you know that.
Flagler, yeah.
Right.
And because Miami Bahamians, the whole culture down here was a little bit different.
It wasn't even so much that. It was like literally the fact that they didn't treat their Negroes as bad.
Right, but
at least according to folklore.
Yeah.
Even though it was completely untrue. Florida was actually the state where you could most likely get lynched of all the states in the Union.
What was the city that got burnt?
Rosewood.
Rosewood.
Burned to the ground.
They explained that in Rosewood.
Right.
Yeah.
I never knew that part.
Yeah, no, in terms of per capita, remember our population was smaller, so you had a greater likelihood of any southern state of getting lynched in Florida than any other state in the South. But that's something we didn't find out till later.
Okay, hold on. Stay right here. So are you telling me based off of a mindset control and one to control progression, that's why we don't have a Breakfast Club of the South, because it would be too much true?
Yes, because...
Hold on. What?
He said we don't need one. They don't work.
We gonna get
easy.
We gonna get to that in the post show. Stay right there.
DJ Feezy in the building.
Don't go nowhere. We gonna get to that. Okay. That makes sense though. So that's a lot to think about. So I guess maybe we should get into
but that may be a case because in New York you have Hot 97. They have their own thing. Breakfast Club, they have. So there's a few different ones at the same time in New York that are really hot, and we syndicate them down here. So that may be.
but we have shows down here that get syndicated too. But I think we take a second tier position in acceptance versus pushing things to the max.
Yeah, I think that's just from sticking to the status quo.
We have a better I see better collaboration in New York than I see in Miami. People in Miami don't like to work together.
Right.
I would push back to say New York's transferable. What I mean by that is
the culture.
The culture. So you can have a New York Yankees hat is expected to be seen in all 50 states. Mm-hmm. An Atlanta Braves hat, Miami Marlins hat. If you see those in certain states, you'd be like, that's completely abnormal. And what I'm saying is so the Breakfast Club for Yee and Charlamagne and all those folks, New York is translatable and transferable in multiple markets. You could not sell a Miami or Atlanta outside of the South. And because of that reason, it's hard to start it up and then B,
with Michael Gardner selling Live around the world, I don't believe that's true.
I think our
mindset is that way.
Difference. See, what we have not done, and the reason why Michael is that shining star on the hill right now, period. because I told
Michael
I was
Baisden.
gone for a while. Michael, no,
No.
Gardner.
Mike Gardner.
Oh, okay.
Mike
You talking
Gardner.
about that? Okay.
I
thought you
left
back
for
on
a
radio
while. I mean,
shows.
I've done every city. I did Atlanta, came back. Did New York, came back. Did LA, came back.
Right.
Only coming back because my mother had moved down here. A whole nother story. But the last time I was here, I remember Mike Gardner coming up to the station and walking past him, and he had a box of flyers in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Gardner just never gave up the hustle, period. End of story, ever, 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 ever. And he stayed the course when the tide changed. Same thing that happened in the record industry,
Right.
same thing that happened in the club industry. I used to be able, or anybody, right, could be working 3-4 nights a week in Miami. And you would think because it's the entertainment capital, you know that, entertainment capital of the world, like we would always have clubs popping.
Yeah.
Name me 3 clubs, black clubs or catered to, that happen on a weekly basis.
You
Yeah.
can't.
You can't anymore.
Besides Sunday.
Because all of our promoters, God bless the dead, are either dead or in jail. So Mike really, and headliners are really the only ones out in that
Out there
space.
still
You
doing
can't
it.
even name anybody else in that space. Where you used to have Dewberry, you used to have, well, it's too many. I won't
Peter
get
Thomas.
into. You had Peter.
Right,
You
right.
could we count Peter? Because Peter used to just transfer money. He come get Peter's.
Not the
Peter's whole
middleman.
game was Peter would get some money from you
That's
and be
how
like,
the
here, I'm
middleman.
gonna take it over here to her. You can do something with it? Okay, no,
No.
I'm gonna
Oh.
take it. I'm gonna throw it over there to him. See what he can do with it.
All right.
You know.
So we're gonna close
We still
out
love him.
with the quick 6. So thank you, Dwight, for your
Thank
contribution.
you,
No problem.
Dwight.
For all that insight.
So Jill,
You know.
who's the one person or the one group that you want on Hot Talk that you have yet to have on your show? Besides Digital Grass.
Okay. H.T. Smith. Yes. Okay. I would like to have H.T. Smith.
Okay. That's a good one. Go ahead,
And-
Tori. It's just one.
Okay.
Just one. It's quick 6.
Right. If you could have dinner,
Quick-
it's cool. It's cool.
Quick 6.
If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Joan Rivers.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
interesting. That's a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
So somebody told you can put together the Hot Talk concert, and you can only bring 3 artists.
Only tres.
Only 3. Now we're not counting local talent.
Damn. I can only.
You can do as much local as you want. So you don't have to name nobody local, but you got
I
3.
can't. I want to name somebody local, but
Okay.
they're not in the 3.
No,
Okay.
anybody local, we know you're gonna bring them through. We know you support local.
Okay.
But your 3 biggest acts, who would be your 3 headliners that will come to the Hot Talk concert?
Okay. So So my 3 headliners would be Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah.
Molly Music, and Christian McBride's trio.
Very cool.
Nice. All right.
Molly music.
Yeah.
Molly Music. I like that.
That would be mine.
Molly Music so hot you can't even download his music on a torrent. He had to go buy that album. I was like, boy, he got some
Okay.
real fans. Ain't nobody sharing that album.
Right. So in 5 years, where will we see Jill Tracey? What you doing?
In 5 years, I am in Jamaica.
Oh.
My book is done. My movie is about to be released, and I'm syndicated.
Memoir movie or what?
Sort of,
Or
yeah.
fiction?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. It's taken a really, really, really long time to get there. But I'm writing now. The title of my book is, I get it from my mama. And yeah, it's,
All right. So I've
So,
heard
like,
you talk about it. You got to tell, where's your current number 1 place to eat? You keep talking about the restaurant and culinary world.
Oh, right
What's
this
your
very
current restaurant?
second,
Yes.
it's Southern Spice.
Southern Spice. She
I
been
just
holding
have
it
to
down.
give it to them.
What
yeah.
was it? Is it Jen? Is that her name? What's her name?
What?
The woman that owns it.
Natasha.
Natasha, yes.
Natasha Gonzalez.
Shout out to Natasha. She been doing her thing.
Yeah, and Derek
Congratulations.
Prude. Just because they are really elevating, they're taking, Southern cuisine and elevating it in a different way, and I think it's great.
That's cool.
The braised short rib.
It's off the chain.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
lick them. Have you had it?
No, but I love
I
it.
have.
You had it.
I have.
You just want to pick that plate up and lick it,
Lick
but
it
it's
like
just
that.
not
Short
right.
rib.
You can't
Trying to be
do that.
polite.
Rib.
Trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Toya, last one on you.
Your mother.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing you learned from your mother?
Ooh.
You know what? I just
Just one.
the most important thing I learned from my mother, quite honestly, hand to God, just because you're hungry don't mean you got to eat garbage.
All right.
And
Look.
but it was not in relation to food. It was in relation to
Yeah.
life.
We got
Yeah.
that.
And
We
you got it.
We
Okay.
picked that up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Yeah.
I have definitely enjoyed this. The show was so powerful. The hot talk just turned off
Shut
all
the
the
lights.
electricity.
Blackout.
Shut the lights out.
Shut it down. So
Oh my goodness.
we're gonna give a special shout out to Digital Grass, world famous House of Mac, DJ Self-Born. But
Absolutely.
most of all, let's give a round of applause to our guest,
Yes,
Jill
sir.
Tracy.
Hot
Thank
Talk,
you.
Hot 105.
We'll appreciate you guys
FM.
coming out. We are going to go ahead
Thank
and
you.
schedule our show. We'll be on Hot Talk. but-
Right. You see, I'm pulling out my calendar.
Thank
right
you
this
for
second.
supporting Tech Beats and Bytes. That's Latoya. This is Michael Hall. We'll see you guys next week.